Okay, so fully navigable different screen areas. I must say that is absolutely brilliant. The graphics are so bloody crisp. I mean, they really look sensational compared to something like Logic. They really do look the nuts. I mean, it just looks so beautiful, whilst not trying too hard to look like software. Do you know, like hardware? Do you know what I mean? They haven't gone to stupid extremes, but you do get the look of software, of hardware rather. Okay, so look, we showed you how you can arrange these 3 different sections of the program if you're working on one screen. But you can completely remove the mixer and the rack like this. You just go to Options, Window, sorry, Detach Main Mixer. Okay, there it is, and it floats over the top now. There's my mixer, which of course, if I wanted to, I could full screen on a separate screen, and then I'll get this massive glorious mixer. Now I'm only on a 22-inch monitor here, which is the resolution of which is 1680 by 1050. But if I'm just, you won't be able to see this, but I'm going to drag it over to my main monitor, which is a 24-inch running at 1920 by 1200, and I'll full screen it there. Yeah, and even on that monitor you do not get the ability to view the entire height of the mixer. But I'll tell you what is interesting. Now when you scroll, maybe I can show you this back on this other back on this other window. Watch. Okay, there it is, sort of full screen. Let me just full screen it. Oh. Come back. No. Okay, well, I'll have to do it manually. Okay, hang on. Let me just drag it in so it's in shot. Come on. Okay. So there it is, full screened. What you'll notice now, once you put it into this full screen mode, is that when you scroll up and down using this box, you are simply scrolling up and down the other sections of the mixer, but not the faders. The faders remain fixed. So that's bloody clever, isn't it? And the thing you'll notice if you're familiar with hardware is that this mixer is obviously modelled on the SSL, because I mean the EQ is straight out of SSL. You've got this stop it, cat, go away. You've got this low pass filter at the top of every EQ section. Now this is separate from the actual EQ itself, okay? And this is the same as on an SSL. You have this low pass filter at the top, which allows you to add in a low pass filter before the signal even reaches the EQ, okay? Because remember, your final bottom EQ here, this low frequency one here, is a shelving filter, okay, which will shelve off your low frequency, but you can switch it into a bell shape instead, which means it's like a hump to sort of make cuts or whatever in the low frequency as a nice rounded curve or something, rather than just a shelving boost or cut. And you've got a low mid and a high mid, both of which are fully parametric. So you know, this is definitely, definitely modelled on the SSL, because you can also punch this filter into your dynamics side chain. And here's your dynamics, which again is straight out of SSL, living above the EQ. You've got the comp, which is absolutely copied from an SSL, and you've got the gate, which is copied from an SSL. It's all SSL copy, visually at least. And you've got this master compressor, which I heard is licensed from SSL, but whether they had to come to some deal with Waves about that, I don't know. Anyway, there it is. It's a pretty bloody comprehensive mixer, isn't it? I mean, it's sensational. And it appears that you can save inserts on a per channel basis. So if I set up a bunch of inserts I like, look here, edit inserts. You can browse for insert patches, yeah? And you can save them. There's a disk image to save an FX insert patch. So you can save entire patches of inserts and edit your inserts, and it takes you straight to the rack to where those inserts are. Absolutely brilliant. Now how I get back to that, I don't know. How I get back to the main... Oh, no, that's not it. Hang on, what's these things popping up? On screen piano keys, what have I pressed? Tool window, I didn't remember doing that. Okay, look, I'm learning this, remember. So, window, view, where's the mixer? Oh, here we are, mixer. Okay. But remember, this would be on a different screen out of the way. And then, if I clicked edit insert, well, let me find something that has got some inserts on it. Is there anything with inserts? Let me look at this one. Takes me straight to the section of the rack where that insert is, but it jumps it over on the rack part, and look, my mixer is still over here. So really you can say that this is ideally designed to work on a 3-monitor setup, and my god, if you did have this on a 3-monitor setup, my god, you would just be in heaven. Okay, so I'll drag the mixer out of the way and I'll show you the rack can be detached now. Here we go, window, detach rack, and my rack has popped up over here. There it is. So I now have a completely separate rack, which again can live on its own window. Let me size it so you can see it. Okay, I use this 1600 50 by whatever it is, 1680 by 1050 for capturing footage, because it kind of works for doing HD. You'll notice that the let me hide the rack has its own sequencer as well, which means that you can have a rack on the sequencer, and if you're working on that screen you haven't got to. No, it's, oh yeah, I see it's floating over the top now. Okay, so it's still too wide though. Okay, so here's the bottom of that screen. There it is. So that's my full size rack now on its own screen, but this would have of course be on a separate screen, and you scroll around the rack using that little side thing there, and I can even bring in a transport bar at the bottom of my rack if I want, so save me having to go across to the other rack, the other window. If I had the rack on its own dedicated screen, it would save me having to go across to the sequencer to adjust or to stop and start my transport all the time. So you can hide that if you want. So there's the full size rack, which can live on its own screen. And when those two are detached, that leaves you with this massive full-sized sequencer. And you've got edit, which takes you into a piano edit for the selected region. I presume I highlight that region there, click edit, and it takes me into the piano roll for that. And I have got an overview. Is that at the top of, what is it? Okay, I can scroll up and down like that. I can zoom in and out. So there's my piano roll. How do I get tools? Tools, tools, where's my toolbox? What's this? What's this? Okay, not quite. Oh, here's tools up here. Right, I get it. Pencil, arrow, eraser, cut, magnify, hand tool. Okay, so there's, so you get into the edit. How do I close it? I go back to arrange with that button there. Okay, I'll highlight a bit of audio now. There it is. Audio is highlighted. Click edit. No, it takes me to the piano roll. How do you edit audio then? Double click? Yeah, double click. Oh, and the edit button is activated here. Well, maybe that's a bug. Anyway, there's your audio, and it appears it has a fader to change the waveform size. You have an overview at the top, which maybe I can do something with. What's that for? I don't know. What's that for? I don't know. Okay, well, anyway, well, maybe that looks like takes or something, that takes can live here or something. I can scroll up and down that waveform like that. So, look, I'm not going to get into looking at the sequencer in depth now because I want to fit this in 10 minutes, but there's your sequencer all on its own, right? All on its own. So you have, as I said, obviously this is designed to work with 3 screens, and then you have your sequencer on one screen, you have your rack on a second screen, and you have your fantastic full-size mixer on its own dedicated screen, and then you're absolutely in rock and roll heaven. But as I've shown, it can all work in one window if you like, and to bring the items back in, you simply attach main mixer, and it's now reattached. Window, attach rack mixer, and it's now attached, and I'm back where I started. There we are. Fantastic, isn't it amazing?